Okay, everybody, welcome back. We are going to look at figuring out how to write some equations to solve word problems or problems that have a picture associated with them. These are going to bring back some previous knowledge from earlier middle school math classes, and also kind of reintroduce some concepts that you will need to use in geometry, which is great. And so I'm going to just go over a few hints that will help you as you work through your homework. These aren't actual notes, they're just kind of hints to help you work through some of these problems. So I'm not going to fully solve anything, I'm just going to help you set them up. So our first hint, we have an image here with what looks like 3 different angles. And it says the measure of a straight angle or straight line, a straight angle or straight line. So for example, this line here is 180 degrees. Do the 3 angles, I ask you, do the 3 angles in the image combine to make a straight angle? So if I start on one side and combine this angle, and this angle together, do all 3 of those together combine to make that straight angle? Do we start on one side, rotate all the way around, and end on the other side? Does that create the straight angle? It does. So that means all 3 of these angles combine to make how much? All 3 of these angles combine to form a straight angle. How much is that? That 180 degrees. So our equation could say something like these 3 pieces, these 3 angles added together should equal 180. So it might say something like x plus 2x minus 45 plus 4x plus 15. And I'm including the parentheses just to show each individual angle. After I write this down, we can take the parentheses off in order to simplify easier. So we can have x plus 2x minus 45 plus 4x plus 15 equals 180. Now there's a lot of like pieces here, so you might use underlining or circling or colors, highlighting in colors to identify your like terms that are going to go together. So anything with an X is going to go together. So I'm going to underline all my things with X's. So I have 1x plus 2x plus 4x. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. So we have 7x. And then we are going to look at all of those numbers that are sitting by themselves. We have a negative 45 and a positive 15. When I add those together, that's going to give me a negative 30. So it's going to actually be minus, not plus, a minus 30 equals 180. And then you can solve from here. So again, I'm not going to finish solving this. We have done this for several days now. You are fully capable of doing that. So we are going to move on to cover these other 2 hints. The second hint here says the sum of the measures of 2 complementary angles is 90 degrees. 2 complementary angles. So you want to keep an eye out for that word. That means that 2 angles add together. Add together. That's what sum means, to equal 90 degrees. We have an image that goes along with it, and you can see here in that image, there's a little box here highlighting it. That little box on the angles tells us that that is 90. Sometimes we see a little square or box in the corner of an angle, and that means it is 90 degrees. So that means these 2 angles created by this line in the middle, or ray, splits that 90 degree into 2 angles. It's not saying it splits it into 2 equal or even angles, just 2 pieces. So in order to find the measure of each angle, we're going to have to write an equation first. So could we do it? Yes. Yes, we could. What would we need to find in order to find each individual angle? I don't just need to solve an equation. I'm going to have to use that value to plug in and find the value for each angle. So first we're going to need to find x. So we're going to write an equation to find x, and then you can plug x back in to find each individual angle. So as we said, we have the sum, or the addition of the two measures, is equal to 90. So we can take that 3x minus 8 plus 2x plus 23 and make that equal to 90 degrees. I can drop the parentheses after I've written my first equation. We have 3x minus 8 plus 2x plus 23 equals 90. Look for your like terms. So anything with an x together, 3x plus 2x gives us 5x. And then we have negative 8 and a positive 23. So 23 minus 8 is going to give us a positive 15 equals 90. So once we find x, we're going to then plug into each angle to find the value for each angle.